This week, Jonny Robot checks out a nifty bit of hardware, the Kaiser Baas Game Recorder HD. I chat to Crytek about upcoming team-based action RPG Hunt, Horrors of the Gilded Age, and Jimmy the Geek tries out a fatality or two as he catches up with NetherRealm to chat about Mortal Kombat X. This is Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this week we have a little Minecraft news to get you started. First up, if you were hanging out for Minecon, you do have a little longer to wait. Mojang has confirmed the event will not be returning now until 2015. While that might be disappointing to some, it is good news for others. You now have more time to save up for tickets to London. Meanwhile, the game's creator Marcus Persson, known to his friends as Notch, has reconsidered his feelings towards Oculus and the innovative Rift virtual reality headset. Earlier this year, when Oculus was bought out by Facebook in a $2 billion deal, Notch famously announced that Facebook creeps me out, officially scrapping plans to take Minecraft onto the new platform. Now though, he's changed his mind and is officially over being upset about the acquisition. Almost as soon as the announcement hit Twitter, Oculus Chief Technology Officer Mr. John Carmack, one of the godfathers of modern gaming, announced his help when it comes to getting the game onto you-know-what. Minecraft is, of course, also headed to the PlayStation 4, but there is a slight hitch. It seems the new version of the game has failed Sony's certification tests, meaning that 4J Studios has had to take things back to the drawing board. Hopefully, it'll just be a minor delay, but we're not sure if we will get the game in September as planned. We do have some more real-world news for you as well. 2 new Minecraft LEGO sets are on the way, and these are full-size sets with standard-sized bricks and minifigs, unlike the last one, which was smaller micro-worlds. So far, we've seen 2 of them. The Cave, which features TNT, an iron pickaxe, a spider, a storage chest, and a zombie, and The Farm, which has LEGO representations of in-game crops like sugarcane, wheat, pumpkins, and carrots, as well as a few animals and a skeleton. Both of these sets will, of course, feature Steve. PlayStation gamers aren't missing out totally. Lucky fans from around the world are being invited to the exclusive beta test for Little Big Planet 3. It looks like the team at Sumo Digital are rewarding long-time gamers with creative talents, but we won't know for sure who's been allowed to check out the new game just yet. All of the beta testers have been sworn to secrecy. There's some good news for Aussie Xbox gamers as well. Microsoft has confirmed that nearly a year after release, those of us down under will be getting the voice command Xbox on when the next firmware update hits in September. Moving right along, and the team behind The Evil Within are trying something a little different with the game's collection of achievements and trophies. Rather than simply publishing a long, spoiler-filled checklist, Tango Gameworks has released a nifty matching game that asks you to pair the icons up with the achievement titles. Of course, it's not super difficult, but it is kind of nice to see someone trying something a little different. You can find the challenge at theevilwithin.com. Something else a little different is The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, an upcoming creepy adventure game from the Astronauts, a new Polish development studio formed by a few developers formerly working for Epic Games. This one hits PC on September 25th, and we've been treated to a tasty 12 minutes of gameplay to tide us over. If you're into the idea of a supernatural adventure romp, this one's for you. It's hitting PS4 sometime later. And speaking of PC games, the wait is nearly over for Wasteland 2. After more than 20 years, the game is set to hit PC, Mac, and Linux from September 19. If you've been playing the beta, you'll understand why we're a little bit excited. We are also excited to learn that Disney Interactive is making sure Wii U owners are well familiar with Disney Infinity in preparation for the September launch of the sequel. If you picked up the game on Wii and are now seeing the error of your ways, all is not lost. You are being offered a copy of the game for free on the Wii U to give you an idea of how Disney Infinity looks in higher def and just how the gamepad interacts with the toy box. It's not quite as simple as just getting a free game though. You will still need a Disney Infinity base unit and whichever figures you might like to play with, but if you've got those and a Wii U, you're good to go. And finally this week, video streaming service Twitch has been bought by former bookseller Amazon for a reported $1 billion. For months we'd been led to believe that Google was shaping up to purchase the company, so while the acquisition itself isn't surprising, the new owner certainly is. Looks like those claims that YouTube was ruining Twitch were just a little premature. Happily, Twitch has reported that the deal will allow the company to maintain its independence, which hopefully means continued coverage of one of the most unusual pro gamers on the circuit. AG Aquarius is officially sponsored by professional fighting gaming team Always Godlike. That's not unusual. What is odd is that AG Aquarius is a fantail goldfish who sprang to fame earlier this month playing Street Fighter. Now, don't think this is weird. AG Aquarius and his rival, Robert the Bruce, aren't exactly fighting fish. They're swimming in a special tank that's been divided up into a sort of a gamepad, and as they move into different sections, a command is sent to control the game. No risk of water in the console, no risk of fishies getting hurt. For more information on any of these stories, or to keep up to date with the latest gaming news, head to playerattack.com. But for now, stick around, got plenty more still to come.
Jimmy the Geek here with Steve, the Director of Art for NetherRealm Studios. We're talking about Mortal Kombat X.
Yes.
I had a chance to play the game and it looks amazing. What changes have you made from the last one?
Oh my God, there's a hell of a lot of changes. There's, of course, it's our first Mortal Kombat on the next-gen systems, so that lets us do anything we want graphically, and it'll definitely show up in the across the board, but especially in the X-rays and fatalities. We're really excited about those. They're really visceral and nasty and gory. But beyond that, we have a lot of cool gameplay elements that we're introducing. That's fresh for fighting games across the board. There's this new thing called variations. So, like when you select a character, you now have 3 little windows that pop up, and you can select 3 different styles. So it's not like you're just fighting one character that has all the same style all the time. It shakes up the gameplay. So it's something that hasn't been done before.
Let's talk about characters for a bit. Who have we got to play with today? Who is new? Sure. And who's coming back?
Actually, E3 we're showing off 6 characters, and 2 are returning favorites. Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Wouldn't be Mortal Kombat without them. But since this story takes place 25 years after the last version of Mortal Kombat, we killed off a bunch of characters. If you played all the way through, this gives us an opportunity to bring up new characters. And the first big one we released was Cassie Cage. She's actually the daughter of Sonya and Johnny, and that's explained through the story. But it's cool. She's kind of like a hybrid between her mom and dad. She's kind of cocky, and she has the fighting styles of her very similar to her mom's. And then probably the most ambitious character we've ever done in Mortal Kombat is Ferritor. It's basically 2 characters. It's one big guy who almost looks like he should be a boss monster. He's so big, and then he has a little lady on his back called Farah that he uses as a weapon. He can throw her, and she can stab the opponent and come back and be used as a battering ram. And it's really an ambitious character. And I'm glad we did it. We were on the fence because it's so much of there's a lot of effort goes into that character. Then we also have Kotal Khan. He's kind of like an Aztec, Mayan character, very godlike moves, and he's a lot of fun to play. He's a more complicated character than a lot. There's a lot of intricacies to him. And then we also have Devora, which is a blast to play. She's kind of a wasp, human, and she has these crazy stingers that come out of her back, and she's probably the most alien kind of fighter we've ever had. She has a lot of crazy moves and a lot of bug-related nastiness that goes with her.
Tell me about the environments. The game looks spectacular. Everything in the background looks alive. Can you tell me a little bit about what went into making the backgrounds?
Yeah, we're spending a ton of time developing our backgrounds. We really want to make sure they feel alive. There's a hell of a lot of NPCs, just people walking around in the background, a lot of life, really, really dramatic lighting. We're going for just more of a cinematic presentation to the backgrounds in general. One thing that we did bring over from Injustice, our last game, was background interactivity. So where Superman could pick up a car, we're not going that crazy. Our characters are human, so we're using the elements in the background as more gameplay elements, where they're more like evasive techniques. So I can jump off a tree or swing on a tree branch just to position myself to get the best gameplay sake, position myself best in the background.
The game itself is brutal. What goes into a fatality? What's the thought process behind creating a fatality for Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, it's fun. It's that's actually one of the funnest parts of our jobs, is that basically a bunch of guys just get in a room and think of, hey, this character has this move. It'd be kind of cool if we expanded on that, and it involves everybody in the studio, because it's like, for the first example we had where it was scorpions. Ed came back with this crazy idea of his, stick figure drawings and said, I want to do this. It's like, okay, good Lord, how are we going to do this? So, the opponent gets a hole blasted through his stomach with Scorpion's fireball. His there's a beating heart that falls down and kind of swings around, and then eventually gets his face. The victim gets his face cut off, and he lays down on the ground. But it's a huge group effort, and it's kind of like this endless polishing thing. It's like, well, it'd be cool if his ribs were on fire. Yeah, let's do that. It'd be cool if there was a tongue that was waggling at the end. Yeah, let's do that. And it's kind of just everybody working together to do this hopefully entertaining thing. It's always good to bring it to a show and hear people cheering and applauding for something that you've been living with for so long. You don't even know if it's good anymore, I think, but this is kind of reassurance that we're doing something right.
February 1889. Ain't no law out here in the Louisiana swamps but the law of nature. Kill or be killed. I hear tell of a witch in these parts, rounding up her own army of the damned. If that's the way of it, then there ain't but one of us that's like to see tomorrow.
We have just checked out Hunt Horrors of the Gilded Age, which we've only just found out about. Can you give us a really, really quick rundown?
Sure. Hunt is a game about hunting monsters in the 1800s, and you play basically an ordinary person who's decided to hunt down these mythological creatures and rid them of the earth.
Well, of course you decide that you're going to go and hunt down mythological creatures. What sort of mythological creatures are we going to go up against as this ordinary person?
Well, hopefully a ton of them, but we try to withdraw from existing myths and legends within the game. So, we've looked at all the areas in the game, we've kind of investigated and looked at the different local legends, and those are the types of things you'll be killing.
Snap your board and suck out the marrow.
So in the footage that we saw today, we were playing a level that was based in the American South. What sort of mythological creatures are lurking there?
So the one we saw today is based on a myth called the Shaukamere, or the Nightmare Witch, and it's a myth in Louisiana. And I think in the myth she actually sits on your chest while you're sleeping, or something weird like that. But so we took the nugget of the idea and built it out and turned it into a boss in our game. So what you saw was the group of players hunting her down to end her once and for all.
And you say group of players. This is a four-person co-op action RPG.
Correct. It is an online co-op action RPG.
How do you get an RPG in an online co-op game?
Basically, it's all about the progression and the advancement of your character. So you kind of play a team of monster hunters that are building up your power over time so you can take on bigger and badder creatures.
In some games that we've seen that do have this 4 versus, the environment, they have set characters. Do we have to step into one of 4 predetermined people, or can we have a bit more to choose from?
You have full control of your archetype. Whatever you could imagine from the 1800s you can make. If you want to be Sherlock Holmes or Clint Eastwood or anything really, just make the character. You can pick the gender, the outfit, the weapons they carry, everything.
And you will be hopping all over the world hunting creatures?
Yes, it's a fully international monster hunting effort.
I hear there is actually some Australian influence that has seeped into some of the monster hunting.
Well, I mean, we had an Australian concept artist, yes, but we are exploring all regions of the world, and interestingly enough, pretty much everywhere has some cool myths and legends we can play upon. And we're not talking about what areas we're doing yet, but eventually we'll do the whole world. That's our plan.
There's a person tethered up. We must get them down.
Let this happen!
While you were on this international monster hunting quest, what sort of weaponry have you got?
You start really authentic. You know, we wanted to have double action pistols and single action pistols, all the stuff that was authentic to the 1880s, and that's important to the game because we want it to feel authentic, and you want to feel like an ordinary person fighting these extraordinary things. But you did get a little crazy towards the end of the game. We'll talk about more of that later on as far as what you can craft and invent and create to fight the monsters.
But it is still era appropriate. This is not a Crytek sci-fi power suit sort of game.
Correct. Even when we push beyond what was actually available, we try to keep it grounded and think about what could they actually have made in the 1800s if they were set on killing these mythological beasts.
Because Crytek is well known for making shooters and making science fiction and this sort of thing. So this is a pretty big jump for these guys.
Yeah, we had a blank slate. We came in and they said, hey, what do you want to make? And this is what we came up with. So, you know, obviously we're not from Crytek, but we are now. So I think now Crytek will mean more than just those things that it's meant in the past.
Who were you before you were Crytek USA?
Most of the team is from Vigil, who worked on Darksiders.
So you've been able to bring some of that skill base over to this, except this is a brand new IP that we haven't seen before.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of creatures in Darksiders, so we took a lot of that expertise and we said, hey, let's make a game about hunting creatures. But we wanted to make it co-op, so that was sort of the genesis of the idea.
I am here! Inside this coffin!
I think there's something moving in that bone box.
This is a sign that my work is almost done.
When is it going to come out? When can we get our hands on it?
We haven't announced the actual release date, but we are going to do a closed beta this fall, so if you go to huntthegame.com, people can sign up now and hopefully get in the beta and check it out.
Crazy, huh? Hunt. That's what we do.
Capturing video seems to be all the rage with the kids nowadays. Whether it be for YouTube or just personal bragging rights, the market's been pretty much dominated by two brands, until now. Enter Kaiser Baas and their brand new recording unit, the creatively named Game Recorder HD. This is the unit here. It's pretty small, right? Well, you know what they say about small packages, and it is 100% true here. As you can see, there's nothing flash going on the outside, but then again, there doesn't have to be. Here on the back, you've got your HDMI in and out, analog in, and even an input for your PC, for playing around with the settings. Now on the front of this bad boy is where you find the main attraction. There's a couple of buttons for toggling your resolution between 720 and 1080, and another for switching your input from HDMI to analog. But here's where the awesome bit is. A big, easy, idiot-proof button you hit to start recording, and this here USB port. This little port is what separates this device from all the others on the market, as it allows you to record your footage directly to an external storage device, without a bulky PC or laptop getting in the way and casting its judging eye on your console way of life. Alright, another thing I really dug about this little guy was how stupidly easy it was to get up and running. This thing is literally plug in and play, and that's coming from a guy that struggles using Microsoft Word. The only exception was when I was using the PS3. The Xbox 360, Xbox One, Wii U, and PS4 were as simple as plugging the HDMI cable into the device, but the PS3 requires you messing around with component cables and reconfiguring your display settings every time you want to record footage. Annoying? Kinda, but it's not Kaiser Baas's fault. It's to do with the HDCP restrictions of the console. But hey, they found a way around it. Just to rigorously test the units, cause you know, I'm professional and whatnot, I even grabbed a couple of random old consoles to check out how they went. After dusting off both an NES and a 3DO, don't ask, this is a story for another day, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, if it has AV outputs, you are laughing. So we've covered that it's easy to set up and works with anything made after 1985, so how's the video quality? Well, it's great. The device records in a beautiful 1080 or 720 if you really want to strain your eyes, and even encodes the files with everybody's favorite codecs, H.264, which means less compression and smaller file sizes for all. Double whammy, it also saves the videos in MPEG-4, which I know will appeal to all you YouTubers out there. The device has a file interval every 2 GB to help with compatibility, which is fine if you're only going to grab quick clips, but if you want a whole battlefield skirmish, you are going to need to know your way around some editing software to patch those files together. Also, for all you budding Let's Players, there is a mic port so you can talk as you play, but there's no settings on the device to set the levels or mess with the volumes. However, using the magic of the internet, you can grab a program, again creatively named, Game Recorder HD, which allows you to set your levels and bit rates before recording.
Say, let's play some hockey. Are you all set? With Bill Clement, I'm Gary Thorne. We're ready. Let's go. Dallas, Texas. That's where we are as we get ready for this affair between the Stars and the Anaheim Ducks.
All in all, the device is pretty darn solid. Easy to set up and even easier to use. The Kaiser Baas Game Recorder HD is an all-round great little capture device for those who want to grab great looking HD footage and also keep the downtrodden console brethren away from any PC master race middlemen.
And that's about it for this edition of Player Attack. Thanks for watching. Next week, we're chatting with Xbox exec Matt Booty about where the console stands these days, and we spend a little hands-on time with Diablo 3 on PS4 to see how the Ultimate Evil edition of the hack and slash holds up on console. In the meantime, you can catch us on playerattack.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and if you've got something you want to say, send us an email, mailbox@playerattack.com, or just hop on our forums. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is Player Attack.